Welcome back, everyone. I've got a few new things here I'm going to show you, and I'll probably upload some individual videos on these just because there's so much to be said about all of it, but I'll sort of go over a few things. The biggest things, I returned to MB Klein or whatever. I just returned the things that I had gotten, and I picked up some new scenery material. So I got this fine turf. This is the burnt grass, which is the same color I used up there, which I was very pleased with, and in here. So I got a bunch of this. I got some more different types of underbrush and bushes. I'm just going to fill in some of the rocks there to try to bring it all together. I got some clump foliage and some more scenic cement. And the other thing I've been doing is going through and replacing, or at least trying to replace, all of the plastic couplers and wheel sets with metal ones to have a little bit more reliability. I got really tired of, sort of parking the trains in the back of the mountain there, and then when I would go run them back, and then I'd pull it back out, the couplers wouldn't quite work. They would sort of just uncouple, and then I'd push something out or derail something in there, and it just became a mess. So I've been pulling all these couplers out. These are some proto couplers, easy mate, all that kind of stuff. Let me see if I can show you what's going on here. So on a good coupler, get rid of the white here. On a good coupler, many of you probably know this, there's that little plastic retaining spring that, the coupler opens. There we go. See, it opens and it snaps shut. So that's ideal, that's what you want. But then what happens on these cheap Bachmann Easy Mate couplers, let me find one that's a good example. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. One like this, that spring doesn't make much contact anymore, so the coupler, see that? Probably not. There it is. That spring's not making contact anymore, so this coupler has a little bit of free play. That's not good. That's why the cars come undone inside the tunnel. So I had to fix that. So what I've done is I've bought a bunch of Kadee couplers. These are, I guess, number 148, so they're basically the number 5 coupler, without the annoying little these guys, which are just a pain to deal with. So I picked up a bunch of these. I think I got a 25 pair. So apparently that's actually 50 couplers. I was pleased with that. So as you can see, these have metal springs in there which won't wear out, at least not nearly as fast as those little plastic clips. And they have little, spin it around, they have little whiskers, metal springs in there to center it, and I'm hoping that those will work and be reliable. I also picked up a coupler gauge, which you can see here, if it focuses. There it is. Where's my coupler gauge? Here we go. So the idea being you match the car with the coupler gauge. So here we'll come on to the back. This is the back of my Intermountain ES40 DC. As you can see, the couplers just about, well, they are a perfect match. And that pleasantly came with, let's see, it came in this little package, which I have since torn apart. But it came with this little tube of extra springs. It came with a bunch of these little washers, which you can use to raise or lower the trucks to help the couplers match. And it came with 2 couplers, a 148, or no, 158. So this is a scale coupler with the whiskers on it, which I really like those. I might end up using more of those. But for now, I still have these number 148s, which are basically the number 5, but with the whiskers. So that all came in one little package, and it was relatively cheap, so I was very pleased with that. I also picked up a bunch of Intermountain, well, not a bunch, several Intermountain wheels, because I have a bunch of actually these are AccuRail hoppers, which I was hoping to replace the plastic wheels in them, but they don't seem to want to stay on the track with those little wheels, so I don't know what I'm going to do with them. It's kind of annoying. It was $10 for 12 wheels, and I got 2 sets of that. So I have spent $20 on wheels I can't use, but I'll work with that. So that's been exciting, but I am happy to say that Let's see, I got, oops, shoot. There we go. This rolling stock has all been carefully upgraded with Kadee couplers, which make a very satisfying metallic sound when they couple here. Let's see if you can hear this. Of course there's no light, I apologize, but those are good, very solid, very happy. And I've done that to pretty much all my rolling stock. The only ones, actually, come on, focus. There we go. All of these get down a coupler height. But all those freight cars now have Kadee couplers in. Or at least I left some of the Bachmann Easy Mate couplers in if they had the metal coils. I'm going to do an experiment and see if I have any problems from now on with coupling and uncoupling when I don't want it. And two, if that is associated with my track or a certain car, or if it seems to be isolated to those certain types of couplers. So I've put them on this as well, in this end unit. I have a number of couplers left, quite a few actually. So I might end up putting them all in these Bethgon Cole Porters. I'll probably do another video on exactly what I do for as far as putting the couplers in, checking the height, and all that kind of stuff, just because I'm guessing some people might want a few more details on that. But let's see here, you might get that is the sound of metal, and that is good, and I like it. So these I probably will end up putting them all in just because it's such a nicer sound, and these little things are annoying. So we'll see. I would like to get more of these Cole Porters, either in Burlington Northern or Santa Fe or BNSF or something, because I want to run those with the MTH ES44 AC, which you see running there. So that's that. I'll have a more in-depth detail video on those. I'm going to get to the scenery sometime soon, hopefully. So there'll be that. I'm actually working on assembling a time-lapse of how this whole sort of thing has come together. So that is something to look forward to, thankfully. So that should be good. I'm going to keep working on putting these couplers in here. By the next video, they should all be in. I think I will just end up putting in all of these, just because that way, if for whatever reason these come uncoupled, I can just push them back together, and also I can put other cars in between, and it's not a big deal. Lastly, this is sort of stuck off the edge here, but I have this Atlas Undecorated -8, which I certainly will be talking more about in the future, but it's Conrail style, and I'm really excited to paint this up as Conrail. Originally I was going to ask if you guys have experience with this, because it looks like there are resistors. Let's see, I don't have a pointing device. Here we go. Looks as if there's a resistor here, which is wired in, and then it also looks, if you look at these wires, like there's resistors wired on there. But then there's also resistors on the PCB there, on this main board. So I didn't know, what I was planning to do would be to put a lock sound decoder in here, and this 8-pin plug, and then I was just going to cut these ditch light wires and wire them directly into the decoder so I can make them flash. Now I'm not going to do that anymore because of just, well, I'll show you, but I'm not going to do that. But I would be curious if, when I would, just how would that work if I did. The biggest problem that I've recently discovered, plug this in here, I'm not going to leave it on too long, is the LEDs are the really bright white and they're almost bluish, and in the ditch lights it's really bad, they're really blue. So I'm probably gonna, this is gonna be a much longer project, longer term, but that's alright, much more on that later. But basically I need to replace the ditch lights, so I'll be looking for ditch lights that are the warm white LED sort of thing, and that I can plug into a lock sound decoder, but that'll all come. So I'm happy with that. I also picked up this thing. This is sort of a stick-on. I was going to see if I could maybe cut it and place it, on the side of this thing here, sort of as a retaining wall. So I'll play with that as well, along with this other scenery. But that's about it. I'll leave you with a shot of the MTH ES44 going by with all the freight cars. Thank you for watching.